Thanks.
Side quest. Side quest. We're live, Steve. Welcome back, people. We're back on the side quest in the heat of the summer here. Underdog Fantasy, Best Ball, Superflex, Puppy, $5 entry, $50,000 the first place. We were just talking strategy before we came on the stream. We're going to share some interesting statistics with you guys and look at the drop-off of where it makes sense to pivot from quarterback early in these drafts and go running back, wide receiver. Look at the stats from last year to get some understanding of what to do this year in this tournament specifically. And then also look at how the round advances, because it doesn't just pick the best person from the 12-person league and then the next person from the next best 12-person league and so forth and so on. That's interesting. Let's dig in. We got our best ball champion in the house. I think he's going to be trying to get in on this Puppy Superflex with us. So that is absolutely possible, guys. If you're out there, you're tuning in. We're going to be drafting on UnderdogFantasy.com. And you can get into this draft with us. But before we get into that, Steve, how you doing, man?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Had a couple beers. Had a little bit of a late night last night. But, beautiful Sunday. Got to sleep in. Waking up with a nice little recharge here. Ready for some football action.
Nice. All right. So this is the Puppy Superflex. I'm doing fantastic, Steve. I am excited to share some of this analysis before we dig into this, and then we'll do a little countdown. We'll get into this so everybody that's in the stream can get into this at the same time as us. $5 entry, UnderdogFantasy.com. If you're new, promo code Quest does get you a 100% instant deposit bonus up to $100. Best Ball is a format where it's basically like a paid mock draft. However, the team that you draft accumulates points throughout the season. So when we look at this, it's a big 55,944 entries. The first round is weeks 1 through 14, and you're in this 12-person league, right? You're in a 12-person league that you're drafting against. If you win in that league with the cumulative points throughout these first 14 weeks of the NFL season, then you advance to round 2. Round 2 is comprised of 9,324 18-person groups, entries in 518 18-person groups. So now you've got to win an 18-person group. And then in round 3, the top 2 performing entries from each of the 18-person groups will advance to round 3 and be awarded a prize. Round 3 will consist of 1,036 entries in 74 14-person groups. At the end of round 3, the top 1 from each of the 14-person groups will advance to round 4 and will fight against 73 other entries in a single 74-person group. All right, Steve, does that make sense?
I got to give it to you for breaking it down, because I can't tell you how many of these I've watched other channels do or other influencers do. And I don't think anyone actually knows anything about how this really works. And I knew that there was you advance to the next bracket or whatever, but beyond knowing that, I had no clue myself. So it's good to know. I mean, it is a big field, right? And that's why the price pool is so high.
And that's also why people are looking at week 17 game correlation. So when you're building the DFS roster and you're looking at a tournament, even if it's just against 73 other people, you do want to have a little bit of uniqueness. You want to have some lower owned players. So when those lower owned players hit, you're getting a lot of points, whereas other people aren't getting points, right? So you look at that, but ultimately you do want to have some chalk mixed with some low-owned players. So we look at the chalk games for week 17, like the Broncos-Chiefs or the Rams-Chargers or the Bengals-Bills or the we talked about Kansas City Bronco, the Bucks. They don't. So basically what I'm looking at here is all the games that Vegas is predicting to have a over 50-point point total. And that gives you the best odds of having a shootout. So we don't want to just get the most amount of points throughout the season through weeks 1 through 14, which all of this information will correlate over to football cards. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go through the draft. But you also want to have a really good game stack for 15, 16, and 17. So I want you to keep these shootout games in mind as we go through this draft, Steve, and I present some of these options for you, or to you, rather.
Absolutely. And it's something to keep a little bit on the back burner. It should have influence on your picks, but don't let it run your whole draft either, because you're still trying to make sure you actually get to that last round.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Yeah, that's important to get through round 1 and then get through round 2 and 3 to get to the last round. And so ultimately, we do want to have a mix of just really good talented players. Like we don't want to let really good talented players slide too far just because they're not in one of those game stack scenarios. And I mean that's kind of like you have to play it as the board falls to you. So what I'm doing here, Steve, is I went back to last year and looked at half PPR fantasy point totals for weeks 1 through 17 and compared quarterbacks to running backs to wide receivers to tight ends to give us an idea of where it makes sense to pivot from quarterbacks to running backs to wide receivers in this draft, and look at where like the average or look at where the quarterbacks on average drop off at a 200-point total. So the whole point of looking at this is to understand how to value quarterbacks in a super flex fantasy draft. As you can see here, the number 20th ranked quarterback last year was Matt Ryan with 234.92 fantasy points. Matt Ryan in Atlanta, which we all thought was a bad year. Even Taylor Heineke had 236 fantasy points last year. Carson Wentz, 265. If we come over to running backs, Carson Wentz had more fantasy points last year in a half PPR format than Najee Harris. Carson Wentz had more fantasy points last year in a half PPR format than all but 3 running backs. So that's why quarterbacks are so highly valued in a super flex format, because if you can start 2 decent quarterbacks on a weekly basis, you are absolutely looking at starting that second quarterback in your super flex spot, and you're going to get points from that second quarterback as if they're a number 1 wide receiver or running back. Borderline, right? Obviously, we have Jonathan Taylor at 353. That would be compared to between Pat Mahomes and Matt Stafford. So I think these are really important things to look at when we're going into this draft. Cooper Kupp had 367. That would still be in between Mahomes and Tom Brady. Interesting to point out there, Tom Brady, 44 years old, was still the top number 3 ranked quarterback. And then in tight ends, you can see it falls off very, very quickly. Very quickly, Steve.
I think that you kind of have to gauge, do you think Cooper Kupp can replicate that? And if you say yes, you need to be considering him in those positions in between those quarterbacks, because there's still other quarterbacks that are going to fall to you. And as you see from receiver 1 to receiver 2, there's a 60-point drop.
60-point drop.
Yeah.
From Kupp to Debo. So keep that in mind as we're going through this draft. If you guys are getting in this puppy, this is Steve. Have you done a puppy super flex on Underdog yet?
No, I haven't.
Awesome.
I've done a handful of the the best ball ones, but I may have to hop in one of these this evening, perhaps after we.
Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun in this format right here that you're gonna want to do more. It's so much fun. It's so closely correlated with the sports card market too, with the way that quarterbacks drive these drafts. It's even more quarterback heavy than in a standard seasonal long where you get to make roster decisions on a weekly basis, a Superflex redraft league. So, all right, guys, I see Brooke out in the chat. We got Gabe Davis. We got our resident Gabe Davis and Derek Richard. We're going to hop in this without further ado. We're going to count down 5, 4, 3. If you guys want to get in with us, hop in this puppy Superflex and 1. Let's go. Here we go. I bet you Derek will get in. Wow,
I think that I would hurt on the inside slightly if you accidentally clicked the 8-hour one.
I've got a couple of those going.
YouTube might have cut us off if we tried to stream the whole thing.
Gabe Davis says, pick me, but don't reach. I'm not really worth it.
In a best ball format, Gabe Davis is actually great because, he has those spike weeks.
I love it. So I got my dark mode figured out. Turns out you don't have to rely on the Google extension dark mode for any other streamers out there or people that are on the web app for Underdog. There's just a button right here on Underdog's app.
It's a lot easier on the eyes, I think. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, this way I was really concerned about there not being any color. Like when I go to look at that. That's like, whoa, what the heck happened? But this is nice.
All right, we got 3 filled. I think that this won't take too long. I think maybe just because it's the middle of the day, it might take a minute or two. But if
Yeah.
you guys have tried this in the afternoon or evening, later in the day, it usually takes like 20 seconds.
Yeah, look how many entrants are already in it. 30,000. They just released this tournament on Thursday, guys. So, and I've got about a dozen in. I've noticed that when it gets to nighttime, you'll just see this number start flying up, man, flying up. So
I think it's worth noting too that for anyone that's done the Best Ball Mania version, this is only a $5 entry, not 25.
$5 entry, yeah, with the potential to win $50,000 to first place. Go, don't do it now, but later rewatch. Go back to the beginning. We broke down how you advance in this. We also broke down the Vegas shootout game scenarios for this year, and in the playoffs of this, we also broke down how quarterbacks and stuff should be valued. If you're not subscribed here, guys, subscribe. Most of the time, we're breaking down football card market, football card buys, sells, everything that goes on in the football sports card market. But we're on a little side quest right now doing some Underdog fantasy. We are affiliated with them. So not only is it a really good, fun, easy way to play fantasy football, it is a big help to the channel. If you're new to it, try it out, guys. You get a 100% instant deposit bonus with promo code QUEST. And you can put in as little as $10, get a free $10 instantly, no slow drip. And that gives you 4 entries to this tournament with a chance to win 50 grand. Steve, if you won 50 grand from this tournament this year, what card would you buy? Like, what card would you buy?
Ooh. Now would I have to spend the whole 50 grand, or would it just be what card would I buy?
No, you wouldn't have to spend the whole. Look at this, man. We get the 1.2, man. We get the streamer 1.2. I've had a few 1.2s, I'm not gonna lie. And then I've also been at the back. The one spot that I hate is being right in the middle, because it's like, you never get a whole bunch of downtime, and then you kind of sandwiched in there, so you have to take every pick very carefully. I like being at the beginning of their end. What about you, Steve?
Sorry, what was the question? The other end?
I said, what you like being the beginning or the end of a fantasy draft?
I like being like a little towards the end. I like the little sandwich pick. I like the sandwich pick. But if you're at the beginning, you kind of have to wait forever for your sandwich pick to come around, as you're watching like the top 20 guys fly off the board.
I'm gonna hide the overlay.
I think I don't know if we've talked about this a couple times, but if I had to buy a card, if I won 50 grand, it wouldn't take up a bulk of the money. But I've always wanted a really nice Frank Gore, like an rookie auto of some kind, maybe a PSA 10.
Oh, you know what I just noticed? Shout out to Derek Richard in the chat there. He's the 1.1, went Josh Allen. All right. Mahomes, Herbert. Who are we going here, Steve?
Ooh. Let's go Herbert.
Herbert, there we go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting 2022 Superflex Puppy Best Ball Draft. We go Justin Herbert at the 1.2 overall. After Derek goes Josh Allen, then you see Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, all 5-6 picks now. Jalen Hurts 1.6 after Kyler Murray, ahead of Burrow, Russ. I'm going to queue up the quarterbacks over here on the left so you can kind of see the next top-ranked quarterbacks, and we'll see. There's definitely some very experienced drafters in here. That's what these little shields mean, Steve. This little ATA Dynasty, the Kronzerito, Chopsalutely, Ted's, Costi, RSP43. So Derek's in a prime spot to absolutely snipe us just about every turn if he wants to. But we can also snipe him. We're in a good spot to snipe him before it comes back to him.
I was actually waiting to see where Jonathan Taylor would go, and I think that's maybe even a pick or two too late. Taking Russ over Jonathan Taylor, I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, we just looked at the point breakdown. So you talk about 300 and Jonathan Taylor getting 353 points, whereas I know Russell Wilson had a really down year last year, so he only had 248. He only played in 14 games. So we got to think he comes more up into this 300 territory, but Jonathan Taylor 353 was right around Dak Prescott. Actually, between Matt Stafford and Pat Mahomes.
All right, let's see. Dak.
Now we're at the turn. Burrow, Brady, Dak. So this is the interesting position we're put in at the 1.2. By the time it gets back to us, we'll be lucky if Kirk Cousins is available. And it's kind of like, where do we stop taking quarterback and pivot because the running back and the wide receiver talent is so rich? Like you look at in this format, they scaled back the wide receiver position from 3 to 2 in the standard 1 quarterback format. But there's that Superflex spot, and that Superflex spot can house a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or tight end. But obviously, as we've just examined, the optimal solution is typically to quarterback in that spot.
Cup 2.4.
2.4. I know I've been able to get some really nice rosters on the back end of this. I've been able to get I think I've been able to go Tom Brady, Christian McCaffrey stacks.
Cousins at the 2.7. I was honest. I was really hoping that he would make it to us, but
there we go. I wonder if we pivot.
So we're 4 picks away. We should line up someone just to have them just in case.
Yeah. Well, I've got here. Me do this. Let me do this, and then I can. So we'll keep this. We'll go like this. That gives you a really good view of the draft board. And then I'll drag this over to this screen so I can see, and then I'll give you an option of who you want to pick. All right. So Jamar Chase is still out there.
I can't see what you have. I can't see the player pool pulled up.
No, I'm just like letting you know who's out there. So with us going, all right, we're on the clock. So we could snipe Stephon Diggs from Derek and upset his day here. Travis Kelce, Najee Harris, Devontae Adams, Dalvin Cook, Mark Andrews. I think we go Najee Harris, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Joe Mixon is out there. I like that.
Oh, Mixon.
Yeah, let's go Mixon. I'm higher than consensus on Mixon, who I think will have a bell cow role this year.
In a handful of the best ball drafts I've done, I've seen Mixon go as the first pick. Now, I know that's a bit of a reach, but I think he'll be top 3, top 5-ish.
There we go. Yeah, we really could have sniped Derek there, but we're good to our community. All right, so we're back on the clock.
Devontae Adams type options.
Yeah. Kelsey's still out there. Adams, Cooks. I think we can almost wait till Mike Williams or Keenan Allen on the way back.
Kelsey might be good here.
Yeah, I'm down with Kelsey. Absolutely. We also snipe P. Nelly. We could create a feud here, but we're gonna queue up Kelsey and get him. Because at some point you look at the amount of 50-plus point totals this year. Kansas City are at, one of the highest with like 11 50-plus point totals this year. Kelsey are obviously the most chemistry, most rapport, most experience. I think you even share with me, Steve, that Kelsey has had like the most receiving yards, not just tight ends, but receivers is since like 2016 or 2007.
Yeah, in the last 5 years out of all active receivers and tight ends. Yep.
See, that's where he pivots. So last year, Kelsey had 216.8 points, and now we could have made an argument to go Tannehill, Derek Carr if they were out there. But I mean, to make an argument to go Mac Jones or Matt Ryan over Kelsey, it's like splitting hairs because they almost had the same amount of fantasy points last year.
What just for a little preview, not that they'll make it back to us necessarily. There will be obviously QBs on the board still, but who's left from the quarterback pool that we can see?
Yeah, so from the quarterback pool, Trevor Lawrence, Matt Ryan, Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston, Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Mac Jones, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Davis Mills, Deshaun Watson, Mariota, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's ADP is still well ahead of Trubisky. I'm still kind of confused by that. Baker Mayfield.
It has to do with speculation and hype.
Yeah.
Them drafting him when they did took some of Trubisky's hype away. But let's not be confused that Trubisky is still the starter until they say otherwise.
I think there's still a lot of people that get caught up in draft hype right now. I mean, there's still so much ambiguity on what depth charts are going to look like, what usage rates are going to look like until we get into camp, until we get into preseason. I think that's when you're going to start to see a lot of ADP shifting, like we talked about Mixon. I think, well, it's hard for Mixon to but typically I've seen Mixon fall past Eckler, Henry. I've seen Mixon fall past. Well, we did get him after Henry, Eckler, Mixon. I've seen him fall a lot further, though. I've seen people go Cook, Swift. This one has actually been, besides the quarterbacks, obviously, with 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 quarterbacks go in the first 3 rounds. Trevor Lawrence is off the board, so
it's worth noting that it looks like about half the teams have 2 quarterbacks already. So that's something to keep in mind when you're going to figure out who could be available to you come time.
We got a Scooby Taylor in here. He said, I'm in need of help in a keeper league. I can keep Cup, which replaces my 4th rounder, or Swift, which replaces my 10th rounder. Oh, man, that's diabolical. I mean, getting Swift for a 4th round, but getting Cup for a 4th rounder, I don't know how you say no to that, because they're running it back, same quarterback, same wide receiver. He's still meeting with Stafford for breakfast. We can only assume so. And they were just undefendable last year, man. I don't know how you don't keep Cup there, because, I mean, Swift, yeah, we're ahead of consensus on Swift, and we think he should get a lot of usage in passing game. Jared Goff's not mobile. We like a lot of the checkdowns that Jared Goff is going to give to Swift. We also like the offense getting better this year. They do have more weapons, more mouths to feed there. He's also definitely going to split carries with Jamal Williams. I don't know how you don't say no to Cup here, Steve. What say you?
I mean, those are both interesting plays, but I mean, I think if you just decide which guy makes my team better, it's got to be Cup, right? I mean, Swift, I think, will have a massive improvement from last year, and I don't think he's necessarily you can't predict that he'll miss any or as many games as last year, but there is, I don't know, Cup, if he does anything remotely like he did last year, he's the guy you got to keep.
There you go. So Derek's saying 10-team Swift, 12-team Cup. I have a hard time getting off of Cup for a 4th round value. That's like, finding a rookie ticket auto of Cooper Cup for like $70 or something. It's like, man, can't say no to that. That's kind of how I look at the ADPs. Like,
all right, we're coming up in a couple picks here, Andy. What are we looking at for options?
Well, Matt Ryan's still out there, and if Derek can't snipe us, but he can snipe. He can snipe the stack. We'd want to go with Matt Ryan, but so Matt Ryan. Oh, actually, Matt Ryan's gone. So Jameis Winston's out there. Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Mac Jones in terms of quarterback. A.J. Brown, Kyle Pitts, Keenan Allen.
Jameis, maybe.
We do have Keenan and Mike Williams both out there. I'm down with Jameis Winston. I'll go Jameis here. Oh, no, he went Michael Pittman. Never mind. I don't know if for some reason I was still okay. So
I think we got to go probably wide
Keenan
out
Allen,
here.
Mike Williams. Who do you want? I think we got to complete the Justin Herbert stack.
Which one's ranked higher, Keenan or Mike Williams?
Keenan is ranked higher just slightly.
Yeah, let's grab him. Let's go with him.
There we go. So now we complete a little bit of stack. So in a best ball tournament, I mean, if you're picking Herbert, right, you definitely want to stack him, because if he's going to go off, it's either going to be Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, Eckler. Like, you could stack him a variety of ways, but definitely stacking him with the wide receivers and the tight ends is going to be optimal. And obviously, Herbert does have some rushing upside. He's got a rushing floor as well, so that's good. But he's not has as much standalone value as guys like Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, even.
Yeah, I don't know about grabbing both guys. I know that some people like grabbing like the full roster sheet in these kind of leagues, but I think after Jameis, the guys that are left, I'm a little higher on Jameis than any of those guys that he mentioned. So,
hey, what's going on, Bob, Scooby, Gabe Davis? Gabe said, "What about me, man?"
I'm sure Derek will draft you.
If you guys are just hopping in, let us know. Hopefully the view is good. We got the dark mode going with the colors. Hopefully the zoom aspect ratio is good. The audio's clean. Guys are turning into a Superflex puppy best ball draft on underdogfantasy.com. Easiest way to play fantasy football, hands down. Derek can tell you he's in probably like 200 best ball drafts, and you're probably thinking, holy crap, how does he even get all those rosters set every Sunday? That's the beauty, man. Best ball, you don't have to set a single roster after you draft it. They automatically optimize the lineups for you on a weekly basis, so that you can spend all Sunday morning hunting on eBay or listing cards and getting ready to sell them for the game day. 615. My God, get this man a trophy or some more Red Bull, because he's on 615 underdog draft.
Wait for our pick to come back. What's up, everyone in the chat who is here this afternoon?
And we got some Caladesi Hitman fans in the chat right now. All right. So you can see now we're down to Ryan Tannehill territory off the board. Ryan Tannehill. So that leaves the starting quarterbacks left as Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Davis Mills, Deshaun Watson, potentially, Mariota. And then we're getting to the Pickett, Trubisky, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, no, Gabe
Jimmy
Davis.
G.
The draft's over. We should just stop at this point. We're not getting Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis going at the 6.3, one pick after Ezekiel Elliott. Look at where our guy Mike Williams went. So yeah, Keenan or Mike would have definitely not made it back to us. So we made the right move in getting one of those guys there in round 5.
Andy, what do we got for maybe the next couple good running backs or next couple good receivers?
Yeah, so there's one running back that tends to always fall to me. But there's been another one that's been falling as of late. Actually, a few running backs that I like that are falling. Right now, according to ADP, the best running backs are Cam Akers, David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, Elijah Mitchell, Antonio Gibson, A.J. Dillon, Miles Sanders, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tony Pollard. It's a lot of running back talent. Now we're in that kind of like mid-tier running back talent, but there's guys with some serious upside, especially in a best ball format when we've already got our RB1 bell cow. If we look at wide receivers.
Is Antonio Gibson going already? I didn't see him go.
He is still out there.
He is still out there. What about, I think I like David Montgomery.
Yeah, I do not have much David Montgomery exposure yet, but I'm up.
No.
Is P. Nelly in this stream? All right. So Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs. Let me see here. DJ Moore is still out there. Allen Robinson, Terry McLaurin, Cam Akers, Rashad Bateman's out there.
What were the first two receivers you said? Sorry.
Rashad Bateman, Juju Smith-Schuster, Brandon Cooks.
Bateman
or Brandon Cooks? Whoops, we waited too long. We got Davis Mills.
Oh, shit.
Well, we got 3 quarterbacks.
We're good on that for a while.
We're good on quarterbacks. All right, so Derek made our mind up for us on Allen Robinson And I'm going to unstar all these quarterbacks. I realized I had a bunch of quarterbacks starred up because I wanted to. All right. So Derek is hammering those wide receivers. All right. Went Allen Robinson, Chris Scott. I say we go with talking about game theory. We go Juju Smith-Schuster or Rashad Bateman or Brandon Cooks here. Brandon Cooks would be great because we got the Davis Mills now.
Now you got to get Cooks, I think, just because we ended up with Mills.
I think we go Brandon Cooks here. Yeah.
Yeah, because if Mills outplays Winston one week, we're gonna get that combination.
Exactly. Now we're looking at potential best ball scenario. Mills could easily outperform Winston on a given week. Likelihood of them outperforming Herbert is very small, but on a given week, we'll get the combination of the two of those guys. Now we're in good spot, man. I think we're good on quarterback for the draft. We got Herbert stacked with Keenan Allen. We got Mills stacked with Cooks. You know who I'm going after here for, and I hope he falls to us, dude. I don't know if it's the draft hype. All the reports that I hear from are fantastic. You know who I'm targeting to stack with Jameis?
There's a couple that I know of, yeah. And if you need to tell me in private chat, you can. We got a couple. We got a couple of people that got skin in the game in the chat. Derek. I was just about to say the same thing. Like you didn't get sniped. You got auto picked.
Bang. Yeah, it was an auto pick, Derek. Did we just snipe Derek though?
He said you did.
Oh, we sniped him with Mills. It was the auto pick sniped you, Derek, but it was my cue. I mean, we did have him queued up.
I do like Mills as well. We'll call it like a friendly fire.
Mills is a very good late round QB in these formats to pick. But you can see how, Steve, if we look at this from a valuation standpoint of like where these teams fall off, look here at the running back. In this format, it was really balanced between running back and wide receiver, although he was in the first 2 rounds only 4 wide receivers and 3, 4, 5 running backs, so slightly more valued on running backs. But then in the 3rd round, you had 2 tight ends now go. You had 4 more running backs and only 3 wide receivers. So you can see the wide receivers are falling later. Running back talent is being picked earlier. Tight ends are still top heavy because of the drop off after, I would say, Kyle Pitts. Obviously, Waller, Kittle still have tight end 1 range of outcomes in their 2022 season. It's just not as likely as Kelsey, Andrews, Pitts type of scenario. Even Pitts is not nearly as likely as Kelsey and Andrews. It's just hard to get off of Pitts with what he did as a rookie.
All right, what do we got coming our way possibly here? I think we maybe need to start eyeing a running back.
Yeah, there's going to be some good running back talent falling to it. You still have, I was going to say Josh Jacobs, and he just went. A.J. Dillon's still out there. Tony Pollard's still out there. There's my guy. Got him started up for the stack with. Oh yeah, Drake London just went, but we still got a ton of wide receiver talent that I really like, especially for best ball format. That's going to come back to us. Running back, we still have Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson's ADP has fallen so hard. I don't know. It's a combination of them drafting Brian Robinson, picking up Carson Wentz. It's just, I don't know. It's just almost like his brand has been tarnished a little bit. The entire Commanders team brand has been tarnished a little bit. Maybe it's got to do with this whole scandal with Dan Snyder, but their brand has been tarnished.
I think that it's a bit overblown with his ADP going down.
Boom! I love to see Rowan Morgan taking Michael Thomas at the 8. Whatever that is, 8.9.
It's either going to be one of the best picks or one of the worst picks of the draft. I mean, I'd love to see the guy hit the practice field.
All right, so Antonio Gibson's still out there, dude.
Is he the highest ranked running back that's left?
Yes.
I don't know how we don't take him here then.
I don't have much exposure to him, and his ADP is 88, and we're on pick 95, and that's a pretty far fall from grace there. So I don't know how we don't take him.
What's our best running back and receiver available?
So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tony Pollard's still out there. I don't know how we don't take Tony Pollard here, or potentially Russell Gage on Tampa. Tony Pollard or Russell Gage?
Probably Pollard.
Pollard it is. I don't have enough exposure to Pollard because I see more and more people reaching for him, but it looks like his ADP is coming back to a good norm. Like, I can't take Pollard ahead of Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins. I've seen some people take him as high as that, and it's come back down now to a realistic norm. But
Andy, could you shift the there we go.
Sorry. Yeah, see if I can get it perfectly to where it's right over our heads. Boom, like that. I could almost, I wonder if, boom, yeah, there you go. Get that dialed in just a little bit more. We're on the up and up, man. We're becoming better broadcasters, Steve. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Hit that like button on the stream, man. If you're liking the dark mode, you're liking the expanded screen, hopefully you can clearly see who's being drafted, the ADPs, looking at some valuations here.
Christian Kirk.
Now look at the amount of wide receivers that are coming off the board.
It's so interesting because it's a very different draft strategy than the other best ball formats.
It is night and day. You cannot take any of the robust RB, hyperfragile RB, hero RB, zero RB strategies from one quarterback best ball leagues into this league because it will not work, especially with the way that quarterbacks are being drafted. We'll go back up here and look at the first couple rounds, and you can see how early all the quarterbacks are gone. The first round was almost strictly quarterbacks besides Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey. Cooper Kupp didn't even go until the 2.4. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase went at the end of the second round. I've been able to, when I draft at the 1.1 or the 1.2, get that Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stack, which I absolutely love. I'm liking our squad so far, though. I feel really good about it. I'm praying that this wide receiver falls to us because I think he's going to be a league winner this year.
All right, let's take a look at who's going off the board. All right, looks like a little tight end run going. Dallas Goedert is a great pick. I don't disagree, Bob. I don't disagree.
Nyheim Hines will get you more with Ryan at QB than Pollard will get you on Dallas. Yes.
I think the only difference between the two is Pollard is arrow up with the fact that there's vacated targets, and Hines is arrow up with the fact that they have a better quarterback. So they're both arrow up.
Yeah. Also, we expect the Dallas's defense to regress, and you can see how many 50-point over-under totals they have, including, not in week 15, 16, 17. I think Derek was saying something about their 15, 16, 17 matchups, but I think they lend better to the rushing game. So it'll be interesting. But I think over the course of the season, the Colts defense is better. And I think there could be fewer potential shootouts, more games that are dominated by Jonathan Taylor. But that's just like a hot take. That's not a
Kenneth Walker.
Like, it could very easily go the other way. Obviously, Colts are in total win now mode.
Ken Walker, I think, is probably one of the guys that I've just completely stayed away from. Just personal preference. I'm just not big on. I mean, he might end up in a timeshare, but I think that his counterpart is being overlooked too hard.
Rashad Penny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing, dude. Rashad Penny's ADP is 128. I mean, that's almost a full round to 2 rounds later than Ken Walker. There's another example of the draft hype.
But you know what? A lot, all that, personal preference, personal gut feeling, whatever it is, that's going to be. It could be what wins you a league. It could be what loses you a league. Taking a guy 2 rounds early is a
We
big
got
deal.
our guy to stack with Jameis Winston. Boom. Got him. Love me some Chris Olave.
That could be nice.
Yeah, he's looked so good. Dominated his senior year at Ohio State. Has been looking so good in training camp, especially with Michael Thomas has not looked explosive
What do we
at
got
all.
lined up here, Andy? We got
all right. So Rashad Penny's out there, but so we got Rashad Penny. We go there. Melvin Gordon's also out there still.
Ooh, yeah.
Melvin Gordon.
Heck yeah.
Boom. Get some more exposure to him.
If they split carries like they did last year, that's like Javonte Williams-esque value in that round, in the 11th round.
Yeah, if you go back and look at the running backs, right? Javonte Williams. I don't have – so I cut it off, but okay, Javonte Williams last year had 183.4. I'm going to look at how many fantasy points Melvin Gordon had last year.
I think it's about 5 different, although you might be using different scoring, but.
And a half PPR. NFL. Melvin Gordon 2021. See if anybody can find it.
Yeah, what was the website you used? I'll look it up.
This screenshot I got from Fantasy Pros because it gave me a really good snapshot of fantasy points on a per year basis. And now I'm like not. Here, you look it up. All right, so we got what we had for Javonte. I just the whole point, we're trying to find an analytic, a stat to back up the fact that Javonte Williams' ADP is ridiculously high compared to Melvin Gordon's. It shouldn't be that high. I mean, he's going all the way up. He's going ahead of Travis Etienne, right? I mean, he's going way up. Or actually, did he bounce out? Yeah, okay. So he went around the Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley range. Somebody took Javonte over Leonard Fournette, which is absolutely crazy to me.
I found it, but I'm trying to. I can't see where it says his overall points.
2021 fantasy positional statistics. Yeah, it was just a clean view. I've got his fantasy points per game. Here we go. I found it. So I got his fantasy points per game, and then I was looking at half PPR.
There it is. Derek put it up.
You are the man, Derek. I'll tell you what.
I knew it was. I said it was 5. It was only 2.3.
What was his total fantasy points?
181.1 for Gordon, 183.4 for Javonte.
Yeah, I cut the screenshot off one guy too soon because Melvin Gordon finished 2 points below Javonte. However, we got him like 4 rounds later. That's insane.
All right. What do we got for receiver or maybe another tight end? Can you play 2 tight ends, Andy?
We have Kelsey, but we still have Freiermuth out there, Irv Smith, Tanyan Cole Kmet, Albert O. I think we pivot. I think you go Jarvis Landry or Alexander Madison or Ronald Jones.
Ooh, Rojo's interesting.
Do we have any exposure to the Chiefs yet besides Kelsey? No.
All right.
What do we get? Stack. Oh, I went Jarvis Landry.
What about is Herbs? Can you start a second tight end in this league?
Yes.
Do you want to maybe take a shot on Irv, or do you want to go a different one?
Well, I think we can wait. I think he'll come back to us. Honestly, he's got a 140. Right. Well, he may not. You're right. I'm down with getting some Vikings exposure. We don't have any Vikings exposure yet. And he sniped Alexander Madison. So let's do it. Let's do it. You either want to start a run or finish a run. And you could easily with his – I mean, I think the ADP starting to settle on the Superflex format. Yeah, look at that. Boom. We started a run. Well, actually, Derek started a run with Cole Kmet. And then we went Irv Smith. Now look at that. Albert O, Pat Fryermuth. I guarantee you one of these guys, Rowan Morgan or Corey Soros, would have gone Irv Smith if we didn't. You know? And you can absolutely start 2 tight ends. And that gives us exposure to the Vikings coming down the stretch and throughout the year, which I absolutely love. We've got some New Orleans exposure. I guess the other thing is to like the last little tidbit to take into consideration is bye weeks, but we're doing really good. The only overlapping bye weeks we have is Melvin Gordon, Tony Pollard. Both have a bye week in week 9. And the Saints have a bye week in week 14. But if you look at the Vikings, bye week 7, Kansas City, bye week 8. So we're in good shape there. Bye week 8 on Kansas City. Also bye week 8 on the Chargers. So it's a good thing we picked another tight end. And we have those additional quarterbacks because if we look at where our we're in really good shape. There he is. Davis Mills bye week 6. So Texans bye week 6. New Orleans 14, Chargers week 8. So we're good there. I think now we look at, and we can always probably get Gronk in the very last round. I've got him pretty much in the very last round of every single one of these drafts, Steve.
I got a guy I want to go with if he's still available next pick. I'm trying to scan since I can't see our list.
What position are you looking at?
I'll send it to you in the private chat here.
Okay.
Oh, no, he just went.
Jahan Dotson?
No, right before
Van
that.
Jefferson? Yeah, I've got some exposure to Van. I do like Van late. Absolutely.
What about this guy?
Yeah, he's still out there. I think we'll be able to we could probably even wait on him. I think we go running back here.
Okay.
I think we go running back here just looking at the talent pool. Like if we're looking at wide receivers, it's between Jalen Tolbert, KJ Osborne, which I do really like KJ Osborne. A wide receiver 2 for the Vikings, get more Vikings exposure, or KJ Hamler. But if we look at running back, Tyrion Davis-Price, Khalil Herbert, Chicago, Jamal Williams.
I like Osborne. I'm not really too high on any of those running backs. We will need to take more running backs eventually, though.
I really like Osborne for best ball this season because you think about it, Kevin O'Donnell, Rams offensive coordinator, Vikings are looking to win.
Whoa.
Boom. Here we go. Derek,
you can clown us for Gabe Davis, but I'm going to clown you for Malik Willis.
He's making a quarterback push, man. All right. Do we double tap? I think we go running back here. Tyrion Davis-Price or Khalil Herbert? If you ask me, I'd go TDP because of San Francisco.
I would too, just because he'll get action without an injury occurring. So I would go with him.
Yeah,
Herbert is like he was a second fiddle last year, but now they have another running back in the cat they got from Tennessee.
I totally screwed that up, dude. I don't know. I thought I hit the draft button on TDP, and I guess I hit it at the last second. I'm down with Jalen Tolbert, but I was really trying to get TDP there. That was a mistake on my part. Sorry, bro.
Let's see here.
But yeah, as you were saying, and Elijah Mitchell, he's not a tank. Like I get it. He's number 1 RB, can't project for injuries, but TDP is a great option. And we don't have Elijah Mitchell, so we're not trying to handcuff. We're not trying to do as much handcuffing in this because we want to pick the best possible upside. And if you're handcuffing guys in a best ball draft, then you're potentially limiting your upside, right? Because you can't get 30 points from two running backs on the same team in the same week. It's just not in the range of outcomes. And then if you're handcuffing them, then now you're losing on a roster spot where you could have another guy. And think about it. You got to beat out the 11 other people in your league, and then you've got to beat out an 18-person league, and then you've got to beat out a 14-person league, and then a 73-person league, or 74 total. You'd be the 74th man. But that final league is where you really need to be firing on all cylinders throughout your roster. So look at the wide receiver, just like boom over here on this RSP 43.
Oh man, he's
still going.
He's hoarding.
He's hoarding like a mother. He literally only has he has to have 3 running backs. So he kind of went like with a hero RB or hyper fragile RB, I guess that is. Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Etienne, got his 3 quarterbacks in Lance, Lawrence, Tannehill, then punted tight end, got it late with Schultz and Knox. Got Mooney, but his wide receiver talent, his only wide receiver 1 is Mooney. And then the other ones are very speculative, and Tony, Rondale Moore, Jamison Williams, Devontae Parker, Josh Palmer, Pickens, Marvin Jones. So he's kind of punted that wide receiver position, and that is one thing that I've seen the guys from last year be successful, is if you're going to sacrifice the quality of a position, then draft quantity later on in the drafts. Because it's a best ball format, you don't have to worry about which guys you start and sit on a weekly basis. So you can literally just draft 5, 6 of them and hope that 2 of them will have good weeks in any given week.
How many rounds do we have left?
Only a couple. Only 4 more left. Just go.
I sent you
pretty quick.
I sent you a couple DMs. I can't keep track of who's available and whatnot, so I'm just shooting names your way.
Yeah, well, Tony's gone, but those other guys are there. Yeah, I like that. The couple of those that you put there, I like those. What's some nice running backs?
Ooh, KJ Hamler's a nice pick.
Yeah, I had him. So Jamal Williams is out there. Sammy Watkins.
I like that.
Or Sammy Watkins or Marlon Mack.
Ooh, well, we need a running back, but I do like the Sammy Watkins pick.
Yeah, I think we get some Green Bay exposure here.
You know, at this point in the draft, you just got to get a couple guys that go boom a couple weeks.
Derek's going with the quantity route on quarterbacks.
Tutty Bridge. Oh man.
All right.
I think we need to go running back probably.
Yeah. Jamal Williams, Marlon Mack, Raheem Mostert.
I think we got to go Mack.
James. Yeah, I think we go Mack too.
And you know, we have the Davis Mills connection.
Oh, that's true. And Mack is an all-purpose back, man. We saw him get quite a bit of receptions from Phillip Rivers in 2019 before he tore his ACL, or not ACL, his Achilles, and before they drafted Jonathan Taylor. Marlon Mack was a stud, man. Over 1,000 scrimmage yards, had quite a few receptions. All-purpose skill set. Paid off his ADP big time. He could pay off his ADP again in Houston here. Davis Mills is not exactly super mobile, and he's a very smart guy. You know, Davis Mills is a really smart quarterback going to Stanford. So we're definitely going to see him hit those checkdowns, get rid of the ball, especially with a not so great offensive line.
AJ Green is a great value at this point in the draft.
Yep. We do have AJ Green out there.
He just went.
Paris Campbell. Your guy there that I'll just star. There's quite a few guys out here. I've been picking up some Bryan Edwards super late in these drafts, which I know is a guy you're big on.
I have him in every best ball draft that I've done this year.
Tupac Shakir's out there. Little slot draft pick from Buffalo.
What about
Julio Jones?
There's another cat. I'll just type it to you. It'll be a lot safer.
There's some interesting super late tight end prospects too that you could punt on. I do see that the running back talent has diminished a lot faster in this format than.
Yeah, I sent you a couple running backs in the chat.
Okay, let me see who we got. Let's chat. There we go. Okay, all right. Yeah. I normally have been getting. I've been getting him in the last round. We could probably get him. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Definitely star him up. Got
Odell Beckham got drafted. Isn't he going to miss the first 6 weeks, Andy?
He's going to miss the whole season, man.
He might.
He just tore his ACL in February, on February 13th or whatever the Super Bowl was. That's a minimum 9 to 11th month timetable. So 9 months is on the short end. All right. So running backs, Sony Michel, Brian Robinson, James White. Let's see. Let's see if one of your guys is out here. Eno Benjamin. And go ahead and get Eno. Get some Cardinals exposure. Mechie. Look at Derek sniping. Coming in with the late snipe on Mechie. That's okay.
Mr. Foles.
That's okay. You know who he's passed up on to get Mechie? Boom. We get Nico Collins in the 19th.
I like it, man. I
That's
can't
how
believe
we roll.
I mean, I think we're probably higher on him than a few other people are, but I like it, man.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the late Davis Mills pick, just feel like there's a lot of upside, like investing in cards of certain guys that you can just buy a rookie ticket auto for $5. It's all upside when you get them this late, you know. And Nico had a 93rd percentile college yards per reception. I mean, young breakout age, 19.5. Massive wingspan, 97th percentile arm length, 34 1/8 inch, 6'4", 215. So he's closely comparable to a guy like Mike Evans. Not quite as fast as Mike Evans, but he's got the wingspan, the catch radius. Does have a high speed score because he does still run a 4.5. On his pro day, he actually ran a 4.45, but at the combine, he ran a 4.5. So he didn't run the greatest 40 speed at the combine, but we saw him play last year, got 446 receiving yards on 61 targets. So I definitely absolutely with only one touchdown. So I think we could see positive touchdown regression this year for Nico. Progression, yeah, or regression back to the mean. So
sure,
his mean should be like 6 touchdowns, and he got 1. You know,
I got to say, a little bit heartbroken we didn't get Brian Edwards, but there's a few guys I'm still high on that are out there. You know, one of my man crushes is still out there. I don't even need to say it. You know, I got a few rookie ticket autos of this guy that I've shown off.
Running back, wide receiver, or tight end?
Receiver. Although if you think we need a running back, we can pivot.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I say we go for it. Is Bob in the chat? Is Bob still in the chat?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, he's probably still out there. I see him at 239. I'm on my clock management today. I'm on
Derek, I think you might be high. You drafted Nick Foles.
I love Melvin Gordon too. Bob's here. We're going with it. If he falls to us, we're hitting the button so quick. We get a
and like you
up.
said, you know, I think that having a little roster variance, especially if you do advance, is pivotal, because if there's a guy that no other team has on their lineup and he goes off, you're way ahead of the game.
Exactly, man. And it's in a big time division. Oh, he got picked at the 20.2. We were going to go Devin Duvernay. Cat's out of the bag.
There's still some heat there, Andy. I said there's still some heat. I'll tell you when it gets closer, so we don't get blindsided.
You might have to just say who it is. There's a lot. I got a lot of tabs going now. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't think we have any exposure to that team at all either.
So I think that I can say it at this point. I don't know if they're all there. Rashad White, Damian Pierce, Miles Gaskin, Marquez Callaway, Tyler Algier. If
Oh,
we
we're
go
going Rashad
Callaway, we
White.
at least have the combo with our quarterback.
No, he's not out there. Tyler Algier. Let me see. I miss our pick. No, he's not out there.
Gronk.
Gronk. Oh yeah, Gronk. We go Gronk. Probably can snipe Derek here. Boom! We did it, Derek. We did it.
You know he probably had that lined up.
Oh, he's been telling me last round of every draft. He Bob said he purposely didn't mention Duvernay not to alert. We know Bob is that's Bob's brand this year is Duvernay in the last round, second to last round. Nope, he said Cam Newton. Dear God, Derek, this is the backup quarterback roster of the century right here. He goes Josh Allen in the first. He goes Josh Allen in the first and then punts the second quarterback, the Superflex, all the way to the 14th. And then goes Malik Willis, Gardner Minshew, Matt Corral, Teddy Bridgewater, Nick Foles.
Wait, what happened with that last pick?
I think it's going to pop up Cam Newton if I were to refresh this. But it's because the draft is like finalizing. So here's all my I guess I've done 8 so far. So let's look at I'm curious to see what my exposure is so far in these 6 teams. No, let's see. Hold on. I got to refresh this.
Does it actually show you that?
Yeah, it does. It shows me my exposures in terms of bye weeks. 2 of them aren't uploaded yet. I wonder, did I do one this morning? I can't remember if I did one this morning. But yeah, look at my Gronk exposures.
Oh, I see. So it tells you like the guys you have most often. Like, so you have Allen Robinson most often, it looks like.
Yeah, the same rate. So I guess these would be. It's looking at last updated at 625. Oh, okay. Because I did do a couple last night. So this doesn't have all my teams because I've drafted about 8 to 10 of these now. But in 6 of them, 66.7, A-Rob, Gronk, Penny, 50% Mariota because he was so cheap. He kept falling so low. I'm like, why not with the rushing floor, and the Superflex. Josh Jacobs, 50%, Mark Ingram, because it's pretty obvious to me that Kamara's going to miss like half the season.
Maybe they'll sign Adrian Peterson.
Hey, that's possible. I think Mark Ingram and Adrian Peterson are very close in age. Very close in age. And I'm sure AP is still keeping in good shape. Olave, 50% on. I've been picking him more and more. As I alluded to earlier, with how, his skill set is just so rare. And I think he's going to be really good. Although he's having, like Drake London is having a really quiet preseason so far, like OTAs and mini camps, whereas Chris Olave is getting a lot of buzz for how good he is and how good he looks. So it'll be interesting, but one of these guys should pop. Hamler, 50% drafted at cost. Zeke Elliott, because he's been falling so far. Lazard. Hawkinson. I've been getting Hawkinson so cheap, man. I'm trying to think of where I've been getting them at.
You know what? I think a lot of people were over-invested in him going into last year. And, with him having what you would call a down year, people probably got a little bit scalded by that. But he did miss a couple games. And I think they'll be all right. There's tons of weapons on that team this year. I think it's going to be I've been saying it for months. I think it's going to be an interesting team to watch.
Yes, I agree with you, man. I agree. It's just one of those, no buzz. Sometimes it can lead to a void for hype, and then all of a sudden, once training camp starts up and then preseason, everybody wants to jump on board that team because their values got driven down so low, Check it out, man. let's pop over to some football card related content for a couple minutes before we sign off. Shout out to David Jarritos in our Discord server. He added some stuff to the web app here, and check this out, man. So now for the market volume, we can see the auction volume, and this goes back 5 weeks now. So now when you look at the red line, this is auction. The blue is buy it now or best offer accepted. So you can get a trend of 5 weeks of where auction volume has been and where buy it now volume has been. It's interesting to see 2 weeks ago, and this was NBA Finals week, I believe now at this point, where auction volume actually dipped all the way down and met with buy it now volume. And then you can see 1 week ago they were both down, and now look at that.
I think a week ago would still technically be the NBA Finals.
Still kind of, yeah. So still kind of see that NBA Finals. Plus, if you notice, like a week and a half ago, some big content creators, I think would say the majority of the big content creators were all focused their content around the economy and inflation, and is the sports card market crashing type of content, which could have had an effect on people's buying decisions. It just, maybe they were just, I think it could have had an effect, man. But now I'm looking at the percentages in the past 7 days and the increase and this chart, and look at how auctions are back up, buy it nows are back up. That's quite a bit of volume, man.
Yeah, it's higher than it was 5 weeks ago, which is interesting. And I mentioned a few weeks ago on our Thursday stream, I said, don't just subscribe to the doom and gloom. I think that chart kind of shows you that somebody said something about everything's going down because of the market, and everyone just kind of ran with it. But like I said before, the charts kind of disagree with that.
Derek immediately hopped into another one. He's got 9 out of 12 badges. Oh, man, we got all the sharks out. I kind of like drafting with those guys because it's obviously going to be more challenging, and the ADPs are different. You don't have these guys reaching. A lot of them are drafting based on ADP, and their takes are really sharp.
I think I'm going to do one after the live stream, Andy, unless I don't know if you got the time to do another one. I might do one right now.
I would love to, but no, I have obligations that I promised the wife.
Totally get it. Totally get it. But, yeah, maybe if anyone in the Discord wants to do one, I might do one after this.
I'd be sleeping on the couch tonight, needless to say. No, but
I'll wait till you're free later. I'll do one with you later, Andy, if you want.
There you go. Yeah, Derek's gonna be popping in. I asked Derek the other day. I said, "How many can you do at one time?" Because I saw the cat, Liam. His name's Liam. He's 26 years old. He's the guy who won BestBall Mania last year on Underdog. He was doing 10 at a time on his computer the other day. He's got a YouTube channel, and I was like, "Holy crap!" So I asked Derek, because Derek's, if you've never seen his setup, he's got 7 monitors set up. And it's insane setup. Like, he's got a whole command center. And I was like, Derek, how many do you do at one time? He's like, I can do 25 on my, he's like, I've done 25 at a time on my phone. And I can't remember what he said he did on his computer. It was like 15. And he's like, I can do 15. And then I'm like a zombie after that. So. I
don't know if I'd want to do more than 2, to be honest with you, at a time. Like,
I did 2 at a time last night. And it was challenging, but totally doable. It's almost like 2 at a time is like, could I squeeze in a 3rd or a 4th? And I think that's how it starts, man. But after that, there's no way. I don't think I could do it.
It depends on where your picks line up too. If they end up like stacking on top of each other, then you got some problems.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, is it possible to pull up our roster so we can give a summary of how it works?
Yeah, here we go. We can pull up. Let me go back to the draft board. See if this is the draft board, right?
Might have to repopulate it.
That's an old draft board. Let's see. Drafts completed. There we go. 9. So I've actually done 9 so far. 9.
I got some catching up to do.
Yeah. Here we go. Herbert, Winston, Mills. View full draft. Here's the board. There you go. There's the full draft board.
And you know, Winston, where he's at, I mean, he had a shortened season last year, but if he played the whole way through, you know, his ceiling is still kind of a question mark. Remember, this is a guy that can throw for over 5,000 yards. You know, he's done it before.
Yeah, didn't Winston make? Let me see if he made the top 20. I thought he made. Maybe he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't make the top 20 quarterbacks last year. No, because he didn't play a full season. No, and actually he played a lot more conservatively last year. Again, actually had a pretty good EPA.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily a Saints fan, but I'm excited to see what he could do if he can put a full campaign together. I think he could put some good numbers up.
Yeah, I do too.
And that the Jarvis Landry acquisition is, I think, a lot bigger than most people realize. That he's a force to be reckoned with in the middle of the field,
especially if Michael Thomas is not healthy. You know, like I think that could be some target competition. Like obviously that'd be some really nice vacated targets there if Michael Thomas is still not healthy or he retires. I mean, I saw the little video that I'm sure you saw too of Michael Thomas like putting out like, hey guys, I'm good, look at me. And then it was like a video of him doing these box jumps where he looked bad. He did not look explosive at all. He looked really out of shape. Like
I didn't see that one, but that's something to be concerned about.
Go search Michael Thomas box jump on Twitter. I'll see if I can find it real quick before we get out of here. That's what everybody was talking about. So his ADP is down a little bit. I honestly am pushing up Jarvis Landry and Chris Olave for
and don't forget Kamara is going to miss, it looks like, at least 6 games, and he takes a lot of receptions up too.
Jeez. JJ Watt posted the picture. He's freaking jacked, man. Let's see. I'm sorry. What did you say, Steve?
Oh, Kamara is going to miss, it looks like, at least 6 games. And
at least 6 games.
So, yeah, there's receptions to be had. There's touches to be had from that.
Latest.
Derek, I'll message you after we're done here and get another one going.
Let's see. Michael Thomas recovery.
The thing with Ingram is you got to hope that he just punches it in a couple times. I don't think he's got the legs left for 20 carries.
Yeah.
But maybe, I mean, what just for the coolness of it, like if they signed AP, I mean, he'd be like the Hall of Famer that has like the most teams played for, probably.
It's like buried in the Twitter archive.
Maybe it's on YouTube. What was it called?
Oh man, it was something related to Michael Thomas, obviously, but I tried looking for Michael Thomas box jump. I couldn't find it. I probably just have to go Michael Thomas and just like hunt for it.
Oh, I found it. Michael Thomas injury rehab training.
There you go. Injury rehab. Yeah, if you got a link, there we go. I found it now. Yeah, that was the key word, man. That was a good keyword. There we go. This was it, but look how slow he's moving. Looks to be very ginger. Look how he stepped down with that right. I mean, it's like he can barely put any pressure still on that right ankle. He's not even using that right ankle to jump.
Yeah.
And you see how ginger he is with it. Watch when he steps down off of it on the last one.
Yeah, he kind of limps away, it looked like.
Yeah, watch. He tries to put pressure there, and it's like, yeah, and he's still got like I don't know, man. That's not a good look for him at all, though. That's all I gotta say.
It kind of reminds me of, Antonio Brown saying that he wouldn't get the surgery he needs unless a team signs him. It's like, how long's this guy been not playing football and probably not taking care of his ankle, because he looks like he hasn't been taking care of his ankle.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. But quick reminder, if you're new, you want to get into the next draft with us on Underdog Fantasy, we're going to try and do one potentially tomorrow night, Tuesday night at the latest. We'll be live again Thursday night. We've got videos coming out tomorrow, Tuesday, probably every day this week. I've got some videos queued up already. We're looking at, I'm going to go back to last year and look at strength of schedule. Look at the teams who won in week 1 last year when the hype was the highest, and look at the sales charts for those quarterbacks on those winning teams, premium cards, to get not better idea of what we could be expecting this year. Plus we got a lot of other fun stuff in the works, and yeah, man, I'll see you there.
I'm excited. We got a lot of stuff coming out and coming soon. Andy, good draft.
Yes, sir. Promo code Quest, underdogfantasy.com. We'll see you in that next one, guys. Peace.